Hey everyone, right now I'll be talking about what you should be more focusing on. It's not a video to upload on YouTube, I might, or whatever that is, but the fundamental reason I'm talking about the subject is this is actually really valid. We are living in a world where most of our work can be automated with AI. So the value which was there on that specific work does not exist anymore, and even the concept of jobs are actually really new. Like 200 300 years ago there were no jobs like this where you can leave and then again change the job, then again do something and then do this and this and that. So it's not a natural process which really help us to survive. Yeah, it created a lot of things which we needed, but I don't think that is necessarily needed anymore. Specifically, when we are seeing that the intelligence is so cheap, intelligence did not matter as much as we used to think to run a societal humanity. We needed that to be the outlier, to move the forward, which is gonna happen naturally. And we created a system where about money, about capitalism. I don't think it's bad, I think it was necessary, but that does not always necessarily make it so more true that we should be only focusing on this and that. So yeah, I have quite a mixed up opinion on a certain dynamic of these things, because right now we are moving towards AI. I just talked about, which can do able to create his own task. It can even create his own company. Then it can run his company. Then with paperclip, it can hire other people. It can even hire humans if it needs to do certain tasks which AI is not very efficient at. So AI is controlling almost all of the things which we required, but the value was also very capitalistic. We used to think in a capitalistic idea that we need to earn money, and right now we are seeing with the World War III that the power system and the power dynamic is actually changing really, really fast. The money is not that needed as it used to, and it's not that important, and we are also seeing the flaws in we are also seeing the flaws, that how the concept of money is all messed up and wrong in general. They are cryptocurrencies, but those currencies are also an exchange of something different. Who have invented and who have invested in past, they have more money. So it's an economy just which is just digital. And yeah, it's a networking, but I think as the world is growing so much, there are a lot of opportunities which are coming on the way, and so we should be taking care on board of the topic, and we should really get interested and should try to see what the future is gonna look like. Otherwise, it's just gonna be an NPC human behavior where we'll be doing the things which we'll be doing, and not necessarily if it is really good or not. So that's all because for today. Don't take me seriously, and take seriously who are expert. Some of my and most of my opinion formed by watching these experts, not by going through and raw dogging the entire thing on history, politics, and whatever that is, because I don't have enough time. I can even get the information, but I really cannot get the mental framework which people have after learning history for 20 years. Like, you can see predictive history for that. If you want to understand AI, how important it is, some really good articles, instead of just seeing the people who are building and vibe coding something, you should be listening to the people who were actually doing this lot before. Like, I'm talking about Dario Amodal, for example, Anthropic CEO. So read his Machine of Love and Grace, the adolescence of technology. This will actually make sense to you. Even the founder of Ethereum have also written a blog post around the next world power, and also the world power is shifting. China is getting advantage. initially US helped China to have this capitalistic system with the communism, but right now it's just falling behind. So there are a lot of things to explore, and you should explore both of the things. I think you should be looking at all the opportunities. So if I make you even more, if I make you in more confusion after watching the video, I'm really sorry, because I also don't know what you should be focusing on. I can give you, because right now I'm focusing on AI. I can tell you, but I really don't think, because people might have their own opinion, they have their own way, and nothing is right and wrong. It's how he made even the all the morality, all the good and evil, all the perspective, all the feeling of superiority, feelings of inferiority, richness, poorness. It's all made up concept. We are human, and we try to make sense out of the world by watching a lot of things. But certain things happen, so I don't want to generalize it, but you should be looking at the opportunities instead of panicking. You as a human have your own value. You might have your own opinion, and it's good to have your own opinion if it's thoughtful and if it's logical. So, because then you can see that you are not just biased on a single thing, you are trying to look at all of the things, maybe the cultural shift which is happening, the problem with the religion which is, for example, happening inside India or in all of the world, and also the type of thing, the history, then the World War II, World War I history, and all of the things are being taken out of context uh, in most of the videos. But to actually get out of from those type of things, you need to really build your own perspective around uh, reliable trust of information, because the information is also something we cannot trust anymore. There are a lot of the conspiracy which AI might say is true, and you believe that perspective to be true, but then these are all nuances. There are better theories than maybe Einstein's, not exactly all, but in a certain scenario, and the mental framework might have been wrong. I can talk about the dark matter, and how the more empty bubbles are happening inside our universe and how it's going to take up, and there are a lot of things which I can talk about, but it was never our fundamental part to do job and everything. AI is there, but I believe AGI is there. AGI is there does not necessarily mean that humans are gonna go away. I really got this concept pretty late, and right now it do make sense to me that we typically used to think that if we reach AGI, the humanity is gonna die, a more intelligent being than us. But I really don't think so that intelligence was the main point. There are other points. Of course, intelligence is one of that, but there are other points which make us human a superior creature in terms of survival or in terms of controlling. We have this internal feeling of desperation. We have an entire feeling of identity, that you and I are individually different, than trying to make things for that host so we can even live a better life. And then there are secondary outcome that we want to help people and what we should be. So they're almost very nuanced. So of course AI is better at intelligence. Can it take over the humanity? Humanity have arms, humanity have missiles, technology. And the problem is that AI really feels like a human. It can replicate how a human talk. If you tell a person in 2000s that if it's chatting to a human or AI, he don't have any idea. He will think that it is a human. It's just a very good role playing, fine tuned on. There was a Twitch streamer who was also the top Twitch streamer, and the entire Twitch stream is AI generated, all the replies, and it was necessarily made for make it more engaging. And it was really, I'm using the word it. Of course, I just don't want to get into this misogynistic and feministic drama. So anyway, and I think you should explore, and you should have your own opinion. And yeah, you are a human being, same as me, same as Elon Musk, as Donald Trump, as Jeffrey Epstein, or you know, Putin, Putin, and Kim Jong Un or whatever the person is, Narendra Modi, and we all might have different opinion, and also this body, this perception of you is why you actually know all those stuff. That might be entirely a hallucination or anything. Actually, my hallucination, I'm creating something, and your hallucination, you are seeing something, and we just try to make sense of the world out of nothing. But if you really like this content, thank you for watching, and I cannot promise that I'm gonna create this type of content because I'm not a content creator anyway. Because I don't post things because I need to post. I actually really post it because I have some of my thoughts and I just want to make it public. That's all. Not for the views, not for anything. No, you might think that I have a fame. I have that views kind of thing, getting views, but not necessarily in here. I have different type of channel. I have grown channel. I have helped channel to reach 100,000 subscriber with doing over more than 2 million ARR last year. So help them. I will not tell that I did it for them because I really cannot. It's a team effort, and I was also part of the team which helped to run function the system. Helped it, not necessarily mean I created the system. And most people will tell you about doing this, earning this amount of money, doing that, and this. Yeah, I mean, if you really want to, you should, but most people are selling you hope, most people are selling you dream, and they are making you feel like you should reach that dream. That's the problem. There are a lot of things to explore, a lot of emotion to have, so you should not get limited by one thing only. And that's it for today. Hope we are gonna see you and meet you. Bye.